exterior estimating, including production rates, and how to factor these into and what to consider when measuring your production rates. I'm Ron Ramsden, DYB coach. I'm actually up at my lake house. My shed needed to be painting. No one else is around, so I thought this would be a great time to measure production rates. So a couple things to consider right away when you're doing this is you got to consider everything from setup to actually picking up your drop cloth. I consider that the entire production of painting one area. Secondly, if you've measured any kind of production rates in the past, it's really good to revisit them now and again. A couple reasons why is your painters are going to get much quicker as they get more experience. They got to find the little tricks of the trade. And secondly, if you're bringing on some new people to your team, and they're going to actually bring the production rates down. So if you're bidding out things with a very experienced crew, but actually now you have 3 or 4 new people, or if you have a 2-person crew and one of the persons is new and they're just learning, your production rate's actually going to be different than it was when you have 2 or 3 people who really know what they're doing. Or if you are a one-man show, production seems to be much faster when you're a one-man show because it's you. Get it done, get paid, move on. So anyways, consider those. That's why one reason we always remeasure now and then. Although it sounds like we should be doing this, we often don't do it. And this is why I decided to measure just the side of the shed here. And this is shiplap siding. We don't get much of that up here in New England. We find a lot of this inside the houses than exterior, but it's always good to have a production rate. So when we do production rates for first coat and second coat, first coat drags a little bit, second coat goes on much smoother. You're painting off a new fresh surface. So we measure both of these. And thirdly, I like to measure my area after I finish painting to get my true production rates, because a lot of times I'll measure a wall 20 feet long, 8 feet high, it's 160 square feet, and I get interrupted in between. So if I have a nice half-hour straight time, I can actually work on what I had to do, complete that task, and look at it as long as I wasn't interrupted. So here it is. So I have here, it's very minimal prep, actually no prep. I used the dust brush to get some pine needles off the side of this. It was washed a couple days ago, so I know it was dry. My entire setup process was laying down a drop cloth and putting a 6-foot ladder up, and that's all I had to do. So that was very minimal setup. So that was all factored into staining the side of this. Another thing to consider is the product you're going to be using and how you're going to apply it. Of course, if I was going to spray this whole thing, I'd be done in 5 minutes. I'd tape off the little vent up there, throw a drop cloth down, maybe protect something, move the truck or something like that. That would be the setup. I'd be done. And if I was going to back brush it, add another couple minutes onto the top of that. On this one, I actually used the brush. And one of the reasons I did use the brush, I didn't have a roller. So it was a great task of finding out how long it was going to take using a 4-inch stain brush on the side of this shed. So the side of the shed, like I said, put a drop cloth down, 4-inch stain brush, and started from the top down. 8.5 feet by 12 feet, which turns out to be 102 square feet for the first coat. So now I have and that's in a half hour. So it'd be 204 square feet for an hour production. That's great to know. If not, you got to look at that and say, I can do that in this amount of time. Well, you know, guesstimating is great, but there's nothing more better than the actual numbers. So what I'm going to do is let this dry, move on to something else, come back in a couple hours, hit this with the second coat, and I'm going to measure it again. So if you're not measuring, measure. It's the only way to get exact pricing when you're actually putting together some of these estimates. So once again, measure. I measure after I complete the task, just in case I was interrupted. I can actually stop my measurement. I time myself with a phone. Everybody has a phone. There's no reason why you can't look at the phone when you start, look at the phone when you end, and there you have it. 204 square feet an hour, which is 102 square feet, a half hour. This actually took me 29.5 minutes to paint the side of this with a brush. And that includes putting the drop cloth off, moving the drop cloth up and down the ladder a couple of times because I'm not the tallest guy in the world. And that's how we get to our exterior shiplap siding production rates. I hope this helped. I'm Ron Ramsden, DYB coach. If you'd like to reach me, you can Ron at DYB coach. Find me on Facebook, send me a message. I talk to many of you. I'd love to help you. I'd have a question. If I can answer, if I can point you in the right direction, I'd love to talk to you. Anyways, have a great day. Hope this thing dries in the next couple hours so I can get this finished. Have a great one. Bye.